Howdy everyone. Welcome to This Old Vegan. My name is Merlene Vassell, and in this video I'm going to share with you my Invisalign journey to reduce the gap between my two front teeth. I decided to embark upon this journey even though I really love my gap and see it as a feature that's unique to my face. I also know that gaps are seen as cute and even sexy in many cultures. Now, my dentist had never pressured me or even suggested that I reduce the gap in my teeth. The most that he did was ask me how I felt about it, and when I told him that I loved it, that was the end of the conversation. However, what was happening is over time, my gap was getting bigger and bigger. This is because I have a tongue thrust habit, which means that when resting, I tend to press my tongue against the back of my teeth, which over time pushes them forward. The other bad habit that I have is that when I'm stressed, I unconsciously clench my teeth together, which had already caused some damage to my molars. So I decided to go with Invisalign dental trays to reduce my gap, not to eliminate it, but to reduce it back to its glory days, and also to provide some protection to my teeth from my clenching. I started my Invisalign journey back in July of 2022, and it was supposed to end in December. The treatment was 10 sets of trays, each to be worn for 2 weeks each. However, as I mentioned, I tend to clench my teeth, and I found that when wearing the Invisalign trays, I wasn't just clenching them, but I was also kind of chewing on the trays. I ended up destroying the second set of trays, and so that would have extended my treatment a few weeks because I had to get that set of trays replaced. However, I became impatient during the course of the Invisalign treatment, and I ended up toward the end wearing trays for about a week instead of the 2 weeks recommended by my dentist. I'm a very bad patient. But what I did was once the trays started to feel comfortable, then I would move on to the next tray. I knew that if I hadn't sped up the process, that I probably would not have completed the full treatment. My experience with Invisalign was that the trays were pretty uncomfortable, but the biggest reason why they were uncomfortable is because the edges of the trays were sharp and digging into the insides of my mouth, my gums, and my tongue. What I ended up doing was using an emery board to smooth out the edges, and that made the trays much more bearable. In addition to that, because the trays were moving my teeth were very sore. There were a lot of foods that I normally eat as a vegan that I couldn't chew because my teeth were so painful. I actually made a list of some of those foods. They included corn, kale, any bread that I had that had little seeds and nuts and such on top. I couldn't eat asparagus. I couldn't eat Cracker Jacks, one of my favorite snacks. So what I had to do instead was eat much softer foods, which included spinach, whole wheat pasta, brown rice, mashed potatoes, and squash. In general, I found eating to be pretty uncomfortable, and I ended up losing about 5 pounds. And actually, my dentist told me that a lot of his patients have reported that they also lost weight while using Invisalign. So what was the result of all of this? First of all, something I neglected to mention was that the trays were also straightening my bottom teeth. My bottom teeth were a little bit crowded in the center front, which I actually had never really noticed. So after going through the treatment, I've ended up with strangely straight bottom teeth. Now on my upper teeth, the gap that I have has been reduced, I would say at least in half, and it's now back to where it was in probably about 2008. I will continue to use the Invisalign retainers at night when I'm sleeping for the rest of my life. This will keep my gap from spreading out again, hopefully. And it also provides some protection to my teeth from clenching and grinding that I might do while I'm sleeping. The retainer is of much better quality than the trays were. They have beveled edges and are much more comfortable. I didn't have to file them down or do anything to them. They fit well and were not painful. They were just a little bit tight, but that's fine. That's what they're supposed to be. Getting Invisalign was pretty expensive. It cost a few $1,000s. And looking back on all of this, had I thought about it as soon as I started noticing that my gap was getting bigger, I would have asked my dentist for a retainer to just keep it where it was, and that would have been a lot less expensive. But anyway, overall, I'm extremely satisfied and happy with the results. And I think that in the long run, this will be an important step in keeping my teeth healthy. Well, thank you for watching this video. I hope it was informative for you, especially if you intend to get some dental work done. Please leave any thoughts or questions in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.